The mainstream media rigged the election in favor of Joe Biden. This is how. Now, a couple of weeks before the election, the New York Post published a bombshell story which basically alleged that Hunter Biden, who is Joe Biden's son, may have been selling access to his father, Joe Biden, while Biden was the vice president. Now, we all know that there is some smoke to this fire because the Biden campaign itself has just come out and said that Hunter Biden is under federal investigation for quote unquote tax purposes. So obviously there was something there to that story, but the mainstream media and big tech did not want to inform the public about that story. So what did they do? They banned the New York Post from Twitter for well over a week just for sharing that story. Mainstream media, CNN and MSNBC and all the little sycophants on the internet said that basically this was misinformation, this was lies, this was all this kinds of stuff. And what they did was they published articles about how the New York Post story was misinformation, about all of this other stuff, and they do these things to muddy the water. They did these things just so that people would be confused about whether or not the Hunter Biden story was actually valid. Now, we all know that that story was valid. We all now know that that story was real. And we also know that a good amount of the American public, who unfortunately still relies on the mainstream media to inform them and to educate them about political issues, did not even know that this Hunter Biden story existed. Big tech colluded to wipe it off of social media. The big networks, the CNNs, the MSNBCs of the world, the mainstream networks did not cover it. And when they do not cover it, what happens? People do not know that it exists. What is this that they like to say on the left? They say, quote unquote, democracy dies in darkness. Well, the mainstream media killed the Hunter Biden story at the point in time where it really could have made a difference in the presidential election. That is how the mainstream media rigged the election for Joe Biden, by denying the audience the right and the readership and the American people, by denying them the right to read this story, judge it for themselves, and to see whether or not it would influence their vote. The only question is, will the mainstream media be able to rig elections for Democrats in perpetuity? Only we can answer that question, because it is only us that are going to have to release the stranglehold that the mainstream media and big tech has on the information that gets out to voting Americans. What happened during this election cycle with the Hunter Biden story and how it was suppressed to help the Joe Biden campaign is criminal, it's twisted, and this is not what our founding fathers set out for when we started voting in America.